Hello and welcome to day 5 of Business English 2. We have been looking at the editor's challenge from the textbook that I will be using parts of throughout the course. And it says the following memo requires you to supply a single word for each blank. As you can see here, the blanks. The word you supply should represent the part of speech shown. And of course, the parts of speech here are the pronouns, nouns, adjectives, verbs, and so on. You have this handout, this visual that has all of these parts of speech explained on it with some simple examples. Last week, we looked at nouns, and remember that a noun is a word that names a person, place, or thing. And we looked at Schoolhouse Rock, the song called "A Noun is a Person, Place, or Thing." And that's a very simple phrase to remember, but it's also extremely helpful when you're working on grammar things. I remember that from many years ago when I was in school. A noun is a person, place, or thing. But one thing to keep in mind there, a noun, a person obviously, a place, a thing could be a physical object like a coffee cup or a banana. Those are things. But a thing can also be like an idea, a concept, like love or fear or freedom. So keep that in mind too. It doesn't always have to be a physical object. And the next one we're going to look at is pronouns, because a pronoun is a word used in place of a noun, instead of, to replace, to take the place of a noun. And so a word used in place of a noun, and with the example here is she would like it better with sprinkles, whipped cream, and a cherry. She. Who is she? Well, we don't know. She is the word she replaces the girl's name or the woman's name. But instead of saying her name over and over, we can just use the word she. She would like it. What is it? Well, she would like it better with sprinkles, whipped cream, and a cherry. What would you get with sprinkles, whipped cream, and a cherry? What would contain those things? What would that be describing? She would like it better with sprinkles, whipped cream, and a cherry. What would that be? That would probably be an ice cream sundae. An ice cream sundae. Usually 2 or 3 scoops of ice cream. Here we have chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. There's some different sauces on there, sometimes some fresh fruit, and sprinkles, the little candy pieces here. Whipped cream. Not whipping cream. Whipping cream is cream that you whip very quickly. After it has been whipped, it is whipped cream. So the whipping cream is still a liquid. After it's whipped and usually has some sugar added, then it is whipped cream. Okay. Another word to be careful here is Sunday. In English, this is pronounced Sunday, just like the day of the week, Sunday. However, in Korean, you also have sundae, the sausage, the blood sausage. Okay, so but if you take the word sundae from Korean and spell it in English, it will look like this. Okay, but you would not want sundae with sprinkles, whipped cream, and a cherry. That would be pretty disgusting. Okay, so but this would be an ice cream sundae. So she would like it the ice cream sundae, better with sprinkles, whipped cream, and a cherry. Alright, so let's look at Schoolhouse Rock again. We have another great one here to use to talk about pronouns. And this one uses a person's name as the title. The title is Rufus Xavier Sarsaparilla. Say that with me. Rufus Xavier Sarsaparilla. There's an R here, but we don't really pronounce it. We don't say sarsaparilla. Sarsaparilla. Rufus Xavier Sarsaparilla. Okay? Now I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see this on my screen, because it's pretty small on the computer here. And let's go through the lyrics like we did last time. And I'll say a line, and then I want you guys to read it back to me. Okay? Now, I have a friend named Rufus Xavier Sarsaparilla. Now you try it. Now, I have a friend named Rufus Xavier Sarsaparilla. And I could say that Rufus found a kangaroo that followed Rufus home. Repeat it. And now that kangaroo belongs to Rufus Xavier Sarsaparilla. Shoo! It's like when you're kind of exhausted or relieved or you've exerted yourself. It's like, shoo! I could say that, but I don't have to. 'Cause I've got pronouns. 'Cause, what's that mean? 'Cause is short for because. It's a simpler way of saying it. We replace the B at the beginning with an apostrophe, 'cause. Or in very informal usage, we'll say 'cause. I did it. I ate 'cause I was hungry. 'Cause. Okay? So, I don't have to 'cause I've got pronouns. Because I've got pronouns. I can say, he found a kangaroo that followed him home, and now it is his. Your turn. You see, he, him, and his are pronouns. Replacing the noun Rufus Xavier Sarsaparilla. See, all of these pronouns mean Rufus Xavier Sarsaparilla. He, him, and his. They all refer to Rufus. A very proper noun. What's a proper noun? Rufus Xavier Sarsaparilla. A very proper noun. Well, if you look at your handout, let me back up here just a second. A kangaroo. Obviously, this is a kangaroo, many of them in Australia. Okay? There are actually two kangaroos here. We have the mama kangaroo, and then in a little pouch on her belly, we have a baby kangaroo. What's a baby kangaroo called? What's a baby kangaroo? If we talk about cats, what's a baby cat? That's a kitten. If we talk about a dog, dogs, what's a baby dog? Baby dog is a puppy. What's a baby kangaroo? Baby kangaroo is called a joey. Joey. Now, Joey can also be a person's name. Did any of you guys watch the TV series Friends? If you did, you'll remember one of the main characters in Friends was, that keeps popping up, Joey. Okay? So pronounced exactly the same, except the baby kangaroo just has a little J. Okay? That's a baby kangaroo. Now back to a proper noun. Proper noun is, if you look on your handout, a specific noun that is always capitalized. Capitalized means the big letters at the beginning, such as Pacific Ocean. If we're just talking about an ocean, we do not use a capital letter. But if we're talking about the Pacific Ocean, then we use a capital letter. If we just talk about a river, it's just a small r. But if we're talking about a specific river, like the Han River, then we use a capital letter. There we go. These would be proper nouns. Just like when we did the quiz at the very beginning, that online quiz, we talked about a strait, that narrow body of water connecting two large bodies of water. That's a small s, but if we talk about the Bering Strait, then of course we have to use capital letters, Bering and Strait. Okay? Another good example here would be something like a university. A university is just a common noun. A common noun is not capitalized. It's just a regular noun. But if we talk about Inha University, that must be capitalized. Inha University is a proper noun. Okay? Okay, back to our lyrics here. Rufus Xavier Sarsaparilla, a very proper noun. It's a person's name, so it should always be capitalized. Just like your name should always be capitalized. And it is a pronoun replacing the noun kangaroo. How common? Kangaroo is not a proper noun. Kangaroo is a common noun because it is not capitalized. It's a common noun. Common nouns are nouns that are not capitalized, like computer, ceiling, shoe, book, highlighter, marker, pen. Okay? Those are just common nouns. All right, let's continue. Now, Rufus has a sister named Raffaella Gabriella Sarsaparilla. Raffaella Gabriella Sarsaparilla. Try the whole line. Now, Rufus has a sister named Raffaella Gabriella Sarsaparilla. If she found a kangaroo, I'd say to you, repeat, she found a kangaroo that followed her home, and now it is hers. But I can't say that, because she found an aardvark that fell in love with her, and they're so happy. An aardvark looks like this. Aardvark has sort of a long, narrow nose, a very long tongue. They can stick out their tongue into like a hole in the ground to eat insects. And there's two animals here that look very similar, an aardvark and an anteater. But you'll notice the noses are a little bit different, and the ears are different, and they live in different places. But a lot of people kind of confuse them. I always thought they were sort of the same thing, but they're not. Let's continue. And my name's Albert Andreas Armadillo. Albert Andreas Armadillo. And my name's Albert Andreas Armadillo. No relation to the sarsaparillas. No relation. That means they're not family. They are not relatives We can say they're no relation. Maybe they have the same, in this case they don't, but people a lot of times have the same last name, the same family name. Maybe even from the same area, from the same city, but oh, no, we're not related. Those aren't my grandparents, or no, they're not my cousins or my uncles. They're not related to us. Same family name, just like in this class. Some of you may have the same family name, Park or Lee or Kim or whatever, but you're no relation. You are not related to each other. Because of pronouns, I can say, I wish she would find a rhinoceros for me and we'd be happy. A rhinoceros, of course, looks like this. I used to drive a car called the Musso, which the symbol for the Musso was a rhinoceros head with the big horn on it there. You see, a pronoun was made to take the place of a noun. Repeat. Because saying all those nouns over and over can really wear you down. If something wears you down, if something can wear you down, it makes you tired, exhausted. Listening to hours and hours of online lectures can wear you down. It gets tiring. It's exhausting. Even though you're just sitting and listening, it can wear you down. It can make you very tired. Commuting back and forth to campus every day, 4 or 5 days a week, can wear you down. It makes you very tired. Okay. Now, I could tell you that Raffaella Gabriella and Rufus Xavier Sarsaparilla and Albert Andreas Armadillo found an aardvark, a kangaroo, and a rhinoceros. That's all one sentence. So try that one. Now I could tell you Raffaella Gabriella and Rufus Xavier Sarsaparilla and Albert Andreas Armadillo found an aardvark, a kangaroo, and a rhinoceros. And now that aardvark and that kangaroo and that rhinoceros belong, respectively, to Raffaella Gabriella Sarsaparilla and Rufus Xavier Sarsaparilla and Albert Andreas Armadillo. Shoo! Again. Shoo! That's exhausting. Try this one. And now that aardvark and that kangaroo and that rhinoceros belong, respectively, to Raffaella Gabriella Sarsaparilla and Rufus Xavier Sarsaparilla and Albert Andreas Armadillo. Your turn. What does that mean? The aardvark, the kangaroo, and the rhinoceros belong, respectively, to Raffaella and Rufus and Albert. What's that mean? Respectively means in the same order. The first animal I list goes to the first person I list. The second animal goes to the second person. The third animal goes to the third person. So, the aardvark, kangaroo, and rhinoceros belong, respectively, in the same order to Raffaella, Rufus, and Albert. So the aardvark is first, that goes to the first person. The aardvark belongs to Raffaella, the kangaroo belongs to Rufus, and the rhinoceros belongs to Albert, respectively, in the same order. It's like sets. Okay? Shoo! Because of pronouns, I can say in this way. We found them, and they found us, and now they are ours, and we're so happy. Thank you, pronouns. You see, a pronoun was made to take the place of a noun. Because saying all those nouns over and over can really wear you down. Sometimes when we take them all on the bus, people really raise a fuss. Sometimes when we take all on the bus, apostrophe em, what is that? When we take them all on the bus, when we take them all on the bus, when we take them on the bus. It's just sort of a very informal, casual way to say them. When we take them on the bus, take them on the bus. People really raise a fuss. They complain. They get upset. They don't just sit quietly, but they get angry. They get upset. They start shouting out a lot of pronouns at us. A lot of pronouns. A lot of pronouns. A lot of pronouns. A lot of pronouns. Right here. A lot of pronouns at us. Like, who brought that rhinoceros on this bus? And what made that horrible noise? And which one of them is getting off first? Who, what, and which are special pronouns that can ask a question. In a sentence, when you do not know the name of the noun. But I know, I have mine, and she has hers, and he has his. Do you have yours? They love us, and we love them. What's ours is theirs. That's how it is with friends. And pronouns, you are really friends, yeah. Because saying all those nouns over and over can really wear you down. Okay, let's listen to it. Let me bring this over here and enjoy.
Sarsaparilla, and I could say that Rufus found a kangaroo to follow Rufus home, and now that kangaroo belongs to Rufus Xavier Sarsaparilla. I could say that, but I don't have to, cause I got pronouns. I can say he found a kangaroo to follow him home, and now it is his. You see, he and his are pronouns replacing a noun. Rufus Xavier Sarsaparilla, a very proper noun. And it is a pronoun replacing the noun kangaroo. How come? Now Rufus has a sister named Raphaela Gabriella Sarsaparilla. If she found a kangaroo, I'd say to you, she found a kangaroo to follow her home. And now it is hers, but I can't say that, but she found an oddball that fell in love with her, and they're so happy. And my name's Albert Andrea Samadilla, no relation to the Sarsaparillas. Because of pronouns I can say, I wish she would find a rhinoceros for me, and we'd be happy. You see, a pronoun was made to take the place of a noun, cause saying all those nouns over and over can really wear you down. Now I can tell you Raphaela Gabriella and Rufus Xavier Sarsaparilla and Albert Andreas Armadillo found an aardvark, a kangaroo, and a rhinoceros. And now that aardvark and that kangaroo and that rhinoceros belong respectively to Raphaela Gabriella Sarsaparilla and Rufus Xavier Sarsaparilla and Albert Andreas Armadillo. Because of pronouns I can say in this way. We found them and they found us, and now they are ours, and we're so happy. Thank you, pronoun. You see, a pronoun was made to take the place of a noun, cause saying all those nouns over and over can really wear you down. Sometimes when we take them all on the bus, people really raise a fuss. They start shouting out loud pronouns there, like, who brought that rhinoceros on his bus? What made that horrible noise, and which one getting off first? Who, what, and which are special pronouns that can ask a question in a sense where you do not know the name of the noun. But I know, I have mine and she has hers. He has his and you have yours. They love us and we love them. But ours is theirs, that's how it is with friends. And pronouns, you are really friends, yeah. Cause saying all those nouns over and over can really weigh you down.
that is the Rufus Xavier Sarsaparilla song. I will upload that for you if you want to listen to it again, along with the lyrics for that. That's actually one of my favorites. Okay, so let's go back to the editor's challenge. And let's see what we can do here. Now that we know what nouns and pronouns are, let's get started on this. So we have Consolidated Industries, that's the name of the company here. We have an inter-office memo. What's inter-office? Well, we talk about international. What does that mean? If something is international, that means between nations, from one nation to another nation. So an inter-office memo is from one office to another office within the same company. Okay? Normally, memos are used internally within a company, not to other companies, not to customers, but within the company itself. Okay? An inter-office memo from this office, from this department to that department, from the sales department to the purchasing department to the marketing department. Okay? Now, another thing here is memo. What's a memo? A memo is a type of communication, written normally. Memo is short for the word memorandum. A memorandum. Normally a written form of communication. It is less formal than a business letter. Less formal than something printed on the company letterhead and sent out. Often memorandums are put on a bulletin board in the office or in the break room, or maybe even emailed out to people within the company. So the format is a little different. Normally they just start with the date, January 28, and they put an X here in the textbook because this could represent any year. So January 28th, 20,000 something. To all employees from Brandon James, manager. Instead of signing this at the bottom, he just puts his initials here. Brandon James, BJ. Subject, reducing overnight delivery costs. So it's very simple here at the top. Date, to, from, subject. You don't have an address and everything here like you will later when we talk about different types of business letters. Okay, overnight delivery services are speedy, fast, quick. Overnight delivery services are speedy, but pronoun are costing us too much now. So, what does a pronoun do? A pronoun, as you remember, is a word used in place of a noun. Words like he, us, me, I, they, mine, her. A pronoun replaces a noun. So what noun are we replacing here? Overnight delivery services are speedy, but blank are costing us too much blank. What's the pronoun? What noun is this pronoun replacing? Overnight delivery services are speedy, but overnight delivery services. Or we could just say delivery services. That's sort of a compound noun, sort of a two-word noun. You could just say services, but that's extremely general. That doesn't really mean a whole lot. But delivery services, we would call that a compound noun. It's a two-word noun, but it's considered a single noun, really. Overnight delivery services are speedy, but how do we replace this? Delivery services, that's plural, so we can't say it, but they. They are costing us too much. What do they cost us? Overnight delivery services are fast, but they're costing us too much. Well, we need a noun. A word that names a person, place, or thing. What are they costing us too much of? Too much money. They're expensive. If you've ever sent a package or a letter overnight delivery, that can be really expensive. Here at Consolidated, remember Consolidated is the company, Consolidated Industries. Here at Consolidated, we have seen our use of these services. What services? Overnight delivery services. We have seen our use of these services increasingly devour a blank portion of our shipping budget. Devour. What's devour? Devour is to eat, to consume, to use up very quickly. If I had an ice cream sundae with sprinkles, whipped cream, and a cherry on top, I would devour it. I would just eat it all up. Like if you're really hungry, could you devour an entire pizza? Some of you probably could. If you're hungry, devour means to eat, to consume, to use up quickly, to devour. We have seen our use of these overnight delivery services increasingly, more and more, use up, eat up, devour, consume a adjective portion of our shipping budget. We need an adjective now. What's an adjective? An adjective is a word that describes or gives more information about a noun or a pronoun. For example, the pudgy pooch quickly devoured the greasy bacon. The pudgy pooch. Pudgy is chubby, a little bit fat. A pooch is a dog. The pudgy pooch, the fat puppy, basically, quickly devoured, ate up the greasy bacon. Meat. Dogs love meat, bacon. Some other adjectives. Green colors are adjectives. Tiny, many, beautiful, shiny, spotted. Those are all adjectives. So, here at Consolidated, we have seen our use of these services increasingly devour a blank portion of our shipping budget. How can we describe the portion of our shipping budget that is being eaten up by these overnight delivery services? Remember, they're speedy, but they're costing us too much money. They're expensive. So we use them, and more quickly, they eat up, consume more of our shipping budget. A large portion, a huge portion, a significant portion, a considerable portion, a major portion. Words like significant and considerable, that means it's not a small amount. You can't ignore it. It's a large amount of money. You can't just, oh, that's just a little bit. No, it's a lot of money. It's a considerable amount of money. It's a significant portion of our budget. It seems that anyone who wants to send something to a customer or a vendor automatically verb it by FedEx. Anyone who wants to send something to a customer, what's a customer? Customer is somebody that we sell something to. What's a vendor? What's a vendor? Well, I'm sure you've seen these machines out in the hallway, like this. What kind of machine is this? You put money in and you get a drink, some juice or water or coffee or a candy bar or some potato chips. What kind of machines are those? Those are called vending machines. Vending machines. To vend means to sell, to distribute, to provide something. So these are vending machines. What are vendors? Vendors. Well, customers are the people we sell things to. Vendors are the people who sell things to us. We buy things from vendors, whether that's raw material or office supplies, ink pens, paper, toner for the copier, all of those things we would get from a vendor. So it seems that anyone who wants to send something to a customer or a vendor automatically blank it by FedEx. Automatically, they don't even think about it. They don't consider another option. They don't think about a cheaper way to do it. They just automatically, without considering other choices, they automatically would need a verb. What's a verb? A verb is a word that shows action or a state of being. Lola raced breathlessly down the court. Raced, she ran very fast. Other verbs: swim, sat, walked, eat, was, grow. Those are all verbs. Those all show action, a state of being that's like is. If something just is, it exists. That's a state of being. Okay? So, it seems that anyone who wants to send something to a customer or a vendor automatically does it, automatically sends it, automatically ships it by FedEx. What is FedEx? It's a company name, FedEx. What is FedEx? We are going to stop there for today, and that is your homework. What is FedEx?